again, like you find, what I find, mate, is like a lot of these people who say that, oh, I can't lose weight, or I can't do this, I can't do that, is the ones that don't do much. Yeah. Like, say if you say, you know, if you see someone, right, and they're like, oh, I just can't gain weight, but they're always someone that's moving around and doing things and just jumping around. Like, it's because they're moving more, they're more active, like, do you mean?
Don't just talk it, walk it. Walkers only. Don't just talk it, walk it. Walkers only. Don't just talk it, walk it. Walkers only. Don't just talk it, walk it.
Really, from being local to the area, but parking was the one.
Nice, mate, nice. Well, thanks for coming on, guys, anyway. First of all, I want to say, obviously, Richie, Lucy, pleasure to have you on. I'm a big believer in if someone's doing well, I gotta like tell them about it. So obviously, like I said just before fair, I kind of seen you guys online. I actually bumped into you once, like I said, at the sauna in Perthcall. But Rich in particular, I suppose I followed you just from hearing about you. A couple of mates have worked on your programs, and the transformations they've had are amazing. So then I thought, I'll follow this guy, see what he's about. And you're just straight up shooter, like ambitious, headstrong. And for me, man, I admire those people because there's a lot of people out there, man, that won't wear their heart on their sleeve and just own it. So when I seen that, I was like, this is my type of guy. So obviously I've only officially met you right now.
Yeah, I massively appreciate that, mate. It means a lot because, like, you kind of hit the nail on the head there with what I'm like. And, like, Lucy knows me more than anything. I'm just like, it is what it is. I cannot not say it. Like, I mean, it's like, but I appreciate that. It means a lot.
All good. And Luce, pleasure to meet you as well. I've been told the other day by someone, I said, I got Lucy coming out. She goes, oh, she used to be a hell of a runner. Is that right?
Yeah, I've
You're
never
still a good runner now.
Well,
do you know what, right? Listen to this, after our last show, the last show she hadn't run in like 6 months, was this?
I hadn't run all year. This was June. Hadn't run all year.
So Puthcall 10K. She's like, Rich, I want to do Puthcall 10K. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. She said, I'm not expecting it. And then, blah, blah. So she was a couple of kilos lighter because she'd obviously, been doing the shows. And what was your time? What did you have in?
I think it was 41 and 1 second. I was gutted. I was like, why
really?
am I 2 seconds faster?
Yeah, but obviously, I hadn't run for a full year and just like come back and blitz to 41, 10K. Yeah, my 5K, my park run 5K PB, I think is 1936, I think. Mine's 1908.
Yeah. But I have, he's so competitive, so am I. I've done one sub 19 before around the bowl in Perthcall, just like running laps around there.
Nice.
So it was obviously a lot easier, no wind, sheltered. So I'm not that fast right now, but I did start back running last week, a week and a half ago.
I started as well now.
Oh 10 minutes.
God.
I think I see some videos of you on your stories, man.
Yeah.
Literally was taking the piss out of you.
Yeah, she was, mate. It only lasts for so long, though, until we taken over again.
We'll
That's
see.
what it's like, yeah.
Love it. Love the competitiveness, because just trying to be better all the time.
That's
definitely,
it, mate. That's it.
Kind of want to talk, first of all, Rich, about yourself, mate, your achievements, and I've kind of just tried to reel off a few earlier, but I thought, how about you reel them off, because we get a better response anyway.
Right, yeah. So achievement, like obviously business-wise now, obviously I had the gym, same time as I done my first show, around 23, and it kind of mixed with each other, I was going down kind of wrong path. A time in my life where it wasn't so great, just lost my father, was in like quite an uncomfortable position, and I think like this is a big thing for me, like, it either pushes people one way or the other way, and I chose the route of being better. What can I do? I'm young, I just watched like my father pass away, like something like really bad, and I was like, right, I need to make the most out of my life. And obviously, I put my full energy into training, dieting, just trying to look and feel as good as I possibly could. And then an opportunity came up with the gym then, where I bought the gym, and then I fully like invested my time into it, because I was a fabricator welder at that time. Yeah.
What year was this?
2013.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Yeah. So I fully invested my time into like bodybuilding then, and obviously just run the gym. And you didn't know me at the time, but mate, I was the gym for the first 2 years. I worked 7 days a week, 3-6, every single day, mate.
Love that.
When I first had the gym, I was like doing 15-hour shifts, sleeping in at night, grinding the machines down, spraying them, and then just like crashing out behind the counter for the like in between, like just I made like a spray booth in the corner, but it was just like it was crazy. But yeah, so that was like probably the start of a turning point in my life, and then obviously went into competitive bodybuilding, where we won the national championships in 2014, And obviously, like, big talks about my name then, like, being, like, kind of, like, the next big thing coming out of the UK, like, for men's physique in Wales, like, because it was a new category. It was 2 years old, and then obviously, and that's it there, mate. Obviously, British Championship in 2022. Yeah, and obviously, biggest achievement though was my little girl, who she was born the same year as we won. Was it?
The year before.
Yeah,
but like,
it, yeah. I'm so bad at times.
You knew when the gym opened though.
Yeah.
But absolute pleasure, man, for you to share that. Just off the top, but just, I suppose it says a lot about you, mate. Just when you're in, you're in.
Yeah, definitely.
And
mate.
that's how you started the business. And like you just said, obviously, sorry to hear about your father back then, but you can either go two ways. A lot of people go down the road of taking drugs, getting pissed all the time, hang around the wrong people, or they go, you know what, I'm going to improve myself. And the best thing that we do when we do change, we've got to change overall, we've got to change our physical state first. Once we change our physical, it improves our mental.
100%, mate.
That's
definitely.
obviously 7 days a week, bro. I love that.
Well, yeah, it was the only way. At that point in time, mate, it was the only way. And I say to her, I could never go back into what I was doing before. No. But it was just like, mate, when your life depends on something and you want to do it and you've got that drive, you've got that fire, I mean, nothing is ever going to stop you. If you, mate, you could run through brick walls if you wanted to. And that's the mentality, that makes people successful, like, I mean. Because I had nothing, mate. I literally, that was it. That was my golden ticket type of thing. Oh, this is my gym. I had an opportunity, which I was lucky to have that opportunity. And I just made it work, and that's it.
So you got the two gyms now?
Yeah, so basically we got RO Fitness, and then we got like a hybrid, a High Rocks area, which obviously Steve Powell is going to start. Like, we're going to turn into like a High Rocks facility. He's just done his big time now in Glasgow, so he's happy with that. But yeah, we're edging more down the route with that. We're going to probably open it as like a full High Rocks facility. And then just the main weightlifting gym, which is like obviously my bread and butter.
Love that, bro. Love that, man. It's funny, isn't it? Quite interesting how training changes all the time. It kind of does cycles, doesn't it? Bodybuilding, CrossFit, High Rocks, running, and it does a full circle. It seems bodybuilding is coming back as well as a big.
It's the same with anything, though. When you look at anything in life, mate, even with fashion, even with nutrition, you have your fad diets and your fad things, but it's all good, when it comes to training, and I think it's just like people are just mixing up a little bit. But I honestly, God, I really do like the new High Rocks. I think it's quite good because it's appealing to a lot of people. You don't have to be massively skilled to be able to do it, but if you want to go here and have a if you want to have a crack and you want to put some work in, like, it's for you, really, isn't it? You can really push yourself.
It's good that you've got the option for both parties, or you're suited for everyone, so it's amazing, man. And I'm loving it, man. We'll keep talking about. I've got to talk a little bit about you as well, Lou. So obviously your journey, background in running and everything like that, and kind of gone into the bodybuilding world as well, and particularly working with women, or you work with all men and women? Coaching?
No, just females.
Just females.
Yeah, lifestyle and competitive clients as well. Yeah,
love that. And you've competed as well, obviously.
Yeah, so I only got into competing through meeting Richie.
Nice.
So my background isn't really running. I've never run or to see how fast I can run. So that's something in my life I definitely want to do. I want to train to see how fast I can run at some point. So all my times and stuff is just turning up to the odd run here and there. But the background's been sport. So played like high level, like netball, basketball, things like that. Running on the side just to keep fit because I like it. Then met Richie. I've always done a bit of weights, mind, mainly through strength and conditioning. So that's where I started with the weights on the side of the sport. And then started training with you then pretty much, didn't I?
Yeah.
Bodybuilder split.
I can remember, mate, the first time I went and trained legs there, so I was like, chucked like 60k in the bar. I was like, I warm up 20 reps. Easy, She comes by me, 60k, 20 reps. I was like, what the fuck? And I was just like, this is going to get interesting. But yeah, it was quite funny, Yeah.
Very similar in our mindset, really, when it comes to like training or sport, like competitive, want to go push ourselves. I don't like slow run or like anything like that. I find boring. So like anything like sort of high intensity.
Well, you got me into running new because I never was. I was always fast. Like, I was a winger in rugby, and that's why I started weight training. But like, she got me into running, and like, I've always been the same. I've never been able to do something slow. Like, I'd rather run a mile fast than run 3 miles slow. And then build it up that way. Like, I think when I done that 90-minute 5k, my average heart rate was like 190 something, 196 or something. Now, like, I was like, what the hell? But that's just like obviously pushing boundaries, But yeah, it's.
So yeah, and then when I don't know, I always wanted to compete and do a show, but the posing side of things, like, would put me off. Like, I did not want to go on stage. I always wanted a coach to be told exactly what to eat, what to do cardio every single day. This is what you do. And I've always wanted that from like a young age. So that's why I was like, oh, I'd love to do the prep. So we had Ollie. So she was born June 2021. And I started then a little diet for the first time ever, really, after she was born, because I wanted to get back to, you know, where I was before. And within 5 months, I joined in your photo shoot, and it was the best I ever looked, like leaner than ever before, because everyone kept telling me, once you have a kid, you'll never look the same again. Yeah. And that was stuck. All that mentality and stuff like that.
Just flipped them from
I was like, oh, I need to prove this wrong. Like, I gotta look how I used to look before. I can't not. Yeah. So
and you look the best you've ever looked.
I never had a full on 6-pack before. 5 months after giving birth, I had a full on 6-pack, didn't I?
I think it's powerful that the body's so amazing that it does all these amazing things. It can give a kid, it can it stretches open now, and then I think it's amazing that a woman's body can just adapt, and a man's, but mainly this for yourself, it can just bring it all back and still look fantastic. And I think it gives people like yourself, it gives other women hope that, hey, this ain't the end for you. Yeah, this is just a start for some of you. And I think that's the message I think I see in some of your posts, your social media, sharing everything. It's like, you are, you know, they're saying you walk the walk, you talk the talk, so follow my lead and we'll be 100%. Okay here.
Definitely. And like the amount of times I've taken Ollie to, like, I'm so lucky I do have a lot of help, and you will look after Ollie a lot, but there's so many times that I have had to take her to the gym. Like, you know, especially when we
took her around America competing, you know.
Yeah, she comes everywhere with us.
Yeah, it's good because, like, we all, from an early age, we noticed, like, healthy habits. Like, she comes down, like, say, she gets up, like, 6:30, 7 sometimes, and we're still doing our cardio. So we're, like, get out of bed to bring her downstairs, and she's like, I was like, what are you doing, baby? She said, I got to do my cardio too. So she'll start doing it. So already we're instilling healthy habits into her. You know, she knows, Mummy, Daddy, can I come to the gym with you today? Because she knows it's something that we love. And something that we do. So it's just great to see, you know, that. And obviously this is something that I like push into my clients as well. Like, I say to them, look, you're not just doing this for you now, you're doing this for your kids as well, because these are things that your kids are going to bring up on. Like, these are things that we should have been taught in school, but we don't. So it's on you to teach your kid, you know, about the mental health aspect of, you know, training, nutrition, feeling good, rather than, you know, like, I hate to say it, but I like seen a kid the other day walking in Tesco's, and he was like 8 years old, way overweight, and I just looked at him, I just thought, oh, do you know what, man, I feel so sorry for you. By the time you're 12, 14, you know what's going on. How many steps behind are you? Like, this shouldn't be how life is. You're already having like a bad start, realistically, and people may look at that and think, oh, you know, you're just being like this, but I know, like, I've felt it, you know. Like,
well, you always, I know you've just spoke about you're a winger in rugby and transformed into training and gym. Like, who was this person that kind of give you this guidance or supported you to kind of become this? Because it's not instilled in everyone. Like, you're not brought up to just be like this.
I don't know, mate. I just think, I don't know where it's come from, mate. I just learn. I'm very responsive with how I feel and how I act, and I literally analyze everything. I look at something and I like pick up things, and just like I go like, mate, the attention to detail is very fine, you know. So
makes sense with the position.
But then when like I notice things, I'm like, that's why. This is why. So like the first time I realized how much training actually had an impact on my life was when it was COVID, and like I knocked the gym to pieces, like hit the walls down, just like couldn't train for like 6 months. And towards the end of that 6 months, I was like, I'm going to sell the gym. I don't like it. Don't want anything. Didn't want nothing to do with it. Wow. Hated it. We opened up the first day. I had my gym session. I was just like, whoa, a new man straight away. And I was just like, I've had like basically speaking to a shrink every day with the gym and training. And just within one session, mate, one day, and I was just like, I felt like a massive weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And I just felt back to how I was. And I was like, now I realise that I cannot stop doing what I do, because this is me as a person, and this is what brings out of me. Like, and it's like, you probably notice yourself, like when you get up in the morning, you do your run, you get your daily habits, how good you feel and how on the ball you are. Like, and obviously we can't be like optimal and 100% all the time, but there's a line where we like to kind of keep over to stop our, you know, mental 100%. Health from dipping. And I think, it's huge, mate. It's huge.
It is huge. And it comes back to awareness, doesn't it? Awareness to what we're doing. We know as well, if we eat shit on the weekend or we drink on the weekend, the side effects from that. And as you get older, you got to make decisions. Do I fit in with the crowd and become everyone else, or do I go against the grain, but long-term benefits are going to be far greater?
And what you need to realize as well, this is what I say to my clients as well. I said, look, I don't want you to become like someone who just doesn't do nothing, but you've got to weigh up your options. You know what's going on. You know how you're going to feel after it. Is it worth it? Is it a special occasion? Are you going to have fun? Because there's going to be times where I go out and I enjoy myself, but I make sure that I don't regret it. Like I always, well, even if I did, I don't live a life with regrets because my focus is on what's in front of me, nothing behind. And obviously, you know, that is, but obviously there's going to come times in my life where I am going to do these things that I say not to because it is part of life. Yeah. And again, you know, you've got to enjoy yourself.
100%.
And you've got to be happy. So, yeah, definitely.
But I think you guys obviously enjoy what you do. I think from afar, some people say, geez, to transform your body like that or to be so regimented with your diet. But like it's something beautiful in being able to push through that discomfort. And that's when you're on stage and you've earned it, you know, that those little 1%ers everywhere, just tweak it.
The discomfort for us now is not doing it because we don't feel as good as we do. Yeah. We don't feel as great as we have, you know. Obviously, it's a bit of a different when you push into that, like, low body fat levels. But day to day, you know, this is our life, this is our lifestyle, this is how we live, you know. So, I
love prep. I struggle not on prep, don't I?
Wow. Yeah. How do you deal with the, obviously, cutting? How do you deal with the mental aspects of you know, your energy levels, your moods?
The best part.
You know it's working.
Yeah, it is the best part. Obviously, mate, if you are doing it correctly, there's only going to be a fine time, a limited time that you're going to feel like that. You know, maybe 1-2 weeks out from a show. Every time I do it, I just kill myself. So it's like 6 to 8 weeks because I'm just like, I can get ready in this amount of time. And then I'm like dragging myself out of bed. But this is where
having a good coach comes in place.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you have always coached me. So, and luckily, like, you see me every day as well, which does help. But I've done 2 seasons, 2 very long seasons, and both of those preps. The first one was easy, and he said, you're never going to have a prep like this again. Yeah. And then the second prep was even easier.
I was like, like, you know, you've had that, like, next time, like, prepare to feel the pain, you know. And then I think 2 weeks out from a show, she's on 2,500 calories a day with 0 cardio.
Wow.
And just like, and peels.
But he refeeds me when needed to brush off that fatigue, you know, when you can really see. And if you're dropping a lot of weight 1 week, you know, and you can see that, you're like, right, this is what we need to do. And then we got data from the refeeds. Sometimes my weight would drop after a refeed. So it's like, right, we need more food, you know, because the whole point of a refeed, you want to kind of like go up a pound or something to show it's done its job.
Yeah, you want to brush the fatigue off, obviously, you know. But like, I don't think you get fatigued. She's a beast.
But some people have that mental toughness.
If you enjoy what you do,
do you know what it is as well, mate? It's a level of commitment that she puts in, so it is easier. You know, like, she's so structured, she's so regimented for a period of time. And I think this is what is so hard for her right now, is because she's having these digestive issues, which she spoke about earlier. And she is still like regimented. Like, we've seen certain people, we've like removed things from her diet, nutrition. We've had like multiple stool tests, etc. But like, it's causing issues. But that is why she does so well in a prep scenario, because, you know, if I told her to run down the M4 backwards, you know, she just do it, like, because it's part of prep, you know.
Your best client, that, isn't it? We just do that. But do you mind sharing a little bit about the digestive system and what's going on?
Yeah, so I reckon it's gone on for a couple of years now. On and off bloating is my main symptoms, but it's never like bloating after a certain meal. If it was, that would be easy, you know. We see it with clients. You just trial and error, take out gluten, take out dairy, certain veg, stick to low FODMAP, and then introduce one-on-one. And we've done that with myself, but nothing seems to give any sort of indication with foods, or like flare-ups after foods, or pain, or anything like that. My symptoms is literally just extreme bloat. They look like I am literally pregnant. And when my stomach gets like that, is extreme fatigue, low moods, and brain fog. Those are my main symptoms. And we're still not sure really what's going on. Hormones are looking a bit unbalanced, a little bit maybe insulin resistance and things like that, maybe signs of PCOS, like a lot of different things it could be. But obviously, who we're working with now, Atlas, we're sponsored by Atlas. Amazing. So they do our bloods, and, you know, they're so amazing. And they're like, no, we're not just going to like chuck in supplements now. We need to find the root cause of what's going on. Which is what we've previously done.
You know, obviously we can see H1ABC or H1BC is a little bit elevated. So, like, and then obviously they've got hormone fluctuations. But then what is causing these? We don't put supplements in to fix these, because we know there's could more likely be a root cause that's coming from the gut, because that does have a, you know, an impact on all of them. So it's like, it's looking deeper than the blood work, basically. It's just looking at like what is actually going on inside your body, like rather than just, because...
And chucking things against the wall and hoping something would stick, basically.
Yeah, basically, that's it,
It's quite common. I've seen it with some people with the bloating, with like people have endometriosis issues. I've noticed that they get a lot of bloating around the stomach area. Obviously, that's not connected to the stomach, but it's just quite, I don't know if they correlate or whatnot, but...
Yeah, I've had a few clients with that as well. And it's just so hard. It's so complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they get, like, even, like, the top doctors in the world, they still do not understand how the gut works. Like, I think, like, you know, the best scientists in the world, like, it is the most complicated thing, because you got, like, millions and billions of, like, particles, good bacteria, bad bacteria. They really just don't know what's going on down there. It's crazy. Like, there's, just don't understand the gut, you know.
But, like, we did try...
Well, they do to a certain extent, but like,
it's constantly growing, it's constantly evolving.
It's adapting and changing, it's mad.
And, like, back in October, I did bloods and stool tests then, and then we consulted, like, a different doctor at the time, and...
He's very well known in the UK, big...
And it was useful, and things like that on what...
But she'd literally done an elimination diet where she ate, like, no cheat meals, 12 weeks.
Wow.
Just
no
like
gluten, no dairy, no veg. I cut out everything. The only thing I did have was, like, blueberries and strawberries, but that was the only sort of fruit and veg I was having. Rice cakes, rice and potatoes, the only carbs I was eating.
And what was it like then?
To be honest, it's never really solved it. That was like 12 weeks long. And then even when I went to Dubai just now for 6 weeks, I'm eating like whatever I wanted, really. Obviously, we knew sort of what calories I was having, but I was eating bread, like eggs, bacon medallions on like toast, or like chicken rice with bread in the evenings. Occasionally the odd dessert with dairy or ice cream, whatever. And there was no changes. There was no changes.
Well, obviously, like, you got to take things with a pinch of salt. Like, and I said to her, like, obviously her TPOs are out, which could show signs to a gluten intolerance in her bloods. But I said to her, like, you've had too much in the past. It doesn't add up to me. So we'll follow this for the 12 weeks. We'll get your blood work done, see where your TPOs are. If they're down, said eat what you want. Then we get your blood work done again, see where TPOs are again. And then we can see if it's pushed it back up, but it hasn't. So, where this doctor had said to her that she could never eat this, never do this, never do that ever again for the rest of her life, I was like, whoa, that's a bit extreme. So we, like, kind of just had our bloods done a sit-in where we didn't, where we just stuck to a standard diet, obviously still healthy, and just put everything back in, and it was still the same. So we know that she can actually eat
still down.
Yeah, so it shows, like, my body can tolerate gluten. It doesn't really add up, but we did a course of antibiotics as well back then to kill the bad bacteria in the gut and things like that, and then try to repair the gut then with, like, probiotics and things like that. Peptides, wasn't it, for literally 12 weeks. Spent a lot of money, to be fair, on these supplements as well.
It cost a couple £1,000. Like,
I was going to say, but the investment's crazy for what you're doing. But I think when you love what you do, though, you just...
Well, we're always expanding our knowledge as well. Like, and it's a nightmare to have this happen to Lucy, but when we solve the problem, which we will, it's going to just expand our knowledge, you know.
And we're going to help, like, so many other people then as well, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. You guys, the story behind it, like, people listening to this today now, they learn more about you guys and just seeing, obviously, your body, but, you know, the background story to you, Luce, or the background story to you, Rich, it shows more than, hey, they're normal like us. Hey,
definitely.
You know what I mean? So it's funny you say that, right? So I've had 3 knee reconstructions, ACLs on my right knee. And then I tore my groin from rugby and things like that. So I had a big layoff from rugby in Australia. And then when I come back, I just started playing locally. And I started taking BPC 157.
Body protective compound.
Now, it's hit and miss. Some people say do take it. Some people say it's not studies enough. Do you know much about it?
Yeah, it's class.
It's
amazing.
That was one of the peptides.
Because that's gut.
Yeah.
So orally, it's good for your digestive health. And then obviously injecting it to the area is better for obviously the healing of, because basically once you inject it into where the injury is, it heals that area, and then it flows around your body. So I always, like, I had a guy who tore his shoulder and it was like blue. We used it with him, and we done like 500 micrograms of it, like 3 times per day to start off with, and within like 8 days, obviously it wasn't a bad tear, but it was bruised and he couldn't like raise his arm above his head, and within like a week it was good.
Wow.
It was very good. Like, He didn't listen to me though. I was like, right, yeah, just because it feels good, don't press. I said it's like mask the pain a little bit. Obviously, there's still an underlying issue. So, but then he ended up taking his chest down because you tried to bench 60, 70k dumbbells, and I was just like,
yeah, well,
but yeah, it definitely works. I know people say that it doesn't. Obviously, there's a lot of clinics in America that use it. A lot of doctors that use it in America. I know the FDA are trying to ban it. Because of not only the effects it's having on injuries, fixing injuries, but again, the effects it's having on your digestive system because it's fixing people's digestive issues who've been on medication for 8 to 10 years. And, it's just like,
It's amazing. So, like, that's what I did. So I was like, right, 3 ACLs, cartilage tears, areas of bone on bone. I was road running every day or training, and the load was just getting a lot. So I just started using it in that area. Before you know it, I was like, my bloatedness and my stomach's getting better. And I was like, hang on. There's something about this. And I was like, it's just funny how it's not really been promoted as a beneficial thing. Is that because of Big Pharma? Is that
that's what I believe. Don't get me started on that. But, it is. Like, I used to watch studies on it, like, probably about 4 years ago. Well, I actually started taking peptides in 2013 because I didn't want to take gear. So I was like, right, what is the next thing? So I was looking at GHRHs, GHRPs, which is like...
Explain that,
mod GRF, and so it's basically so it's similar basically, but it's just like the start of the peptide world when it was coming in. I was just reading up on UK Muscle at that time. Actually, we didn't have like the Instagram, the reels, and obviously nothing on like PubMed, etc. I was just like the forums basically. That's all I was working off. But so they've been around a long time, mate, and they've always had good. They've had good results with healing injuries, obviously helping with fat loss, and just obviously you've got certain ones which obviously the BPC is just for the injury, but it is just aminos. I think it's made up of 12 aminos in total, But
so that's what your body already has, right? Is it? And you're just basically flooding it back with more things what the body already has.
Yeah, so I think it's made up from your stomach acid. So I said,
it was great. I'm taking it for a while, but whenever anyone says to me, I'm not a doctor, but I always say, guys, give this a crack first before you start taking anti-inflams, taking other aspects, or looking down the surgeon route. Give this a crack first,
Yeah, definitely.
It's it's an interesting thing. What's up, guys? This podcast is brought to you by U-Test. U-Test provides clinically accurate, rapid home testing kits for a variety of medical conditions and deficiencies. Designed for convenience, these tests deliver results in just 5 minutes, eliminating the need to wait days or weeks for lab results. The range includes tests for prostate PSA levels, bowel cancer screening, onset menopause to fertility, and more. All tests are available with the next day delivery at www.utest.co.uk. Use the code 0010 for 10% off your order. Now, let's go back to the episode. With the bodybuilding, it's, over the generations, you've got the Arnies, the Ronnie Colemans. And I remember, I'm looking at this guy recently. He's always on social media because social media is the new... It's the promotion area, right, of everything. The guy, I think his name's Sam something.
Sam Sulek.
Is it? He has a cap on.
He's just won the Arnold's. He's won his pro card just now. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, he's just won his pro card in the Arnold's I think it was about a month ago. He got a lot of haters online saying he should have won it, but he should have won it.
He should have?
Yeah, he should have won it, 100%. I think so, yeah.
I just liked watching his journey by the end.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just a straight up guy, mate. Like you say, he don't care. Like, he coached himself into the show, which I appreciate. Yeah, he could have had so much more help. Like, but like even like, mate, you had these big names calling him out on social media. He's not lean enough. He's not this. He's not that. And like all he had to do was flex his quads on stage because he wasn't. Mate, he's not an expert poser. It's his first time on stage. He's a beginner, but you could see he was peeled. And then the second time he obviously fixed that, and then he won his pro card. So yeah, he smashed it. To be fair.
It's amazing just seeing people like the transformation and that resilient mindset that go. Probably he didn't have a coach like you said, but geez, I know if I'm going to get the best benefit, I need someone to keep me accountable. We all know this, right? Like,
100%.
To do that on his own, kind of raw dog it. It's pretty impressive. But posing, this is quite an interesting thing. Lucy, if you want to share it, it's not just getting up there and standing there, is it? Do you want to explain a bit more on that, both of you?
Yeah, so much goes into posing. You get marked on, as like a bikini competitor, you get marked on your hair, your makeup, your tan, your skin complexion, like how you smile on stage, where you're looking, obviously posing stamina, holding each pose. the flow, the
Well,
timings.
you was practicing an hour every single day.
So yeah, I
Really?
I
An hour
had
every
the
single
odd
day,
session with like
relentlessly.
a couple of people, but like that's what would stop me from wanting to compete was getting up on stage in a bikini and posing like a girly girl, because I was a bit of a tomboy, well, big tomboy growing up, playing football and everything.
Nice.
So, but when I didn't know if I was going to like competing, once I went through the prep, got up on stage, I absolutely loved it. But it was just terrifying thinking, oh my God, what if you fall? What if you do something wrong? Everyone's watching you. So I literally practiced an hour every single day on prep. And my prep was 11 weeks to my first show. And I didn't have my parents, didn't tell anyone I was competing apart from you. Grace, because she was doing my massage once a week. And I think that was literally the only people who knew, really. And I'd take Ollie down the gym. She'd be in a little baby thing. She was 6 months old. And I would just pose for like an hour, analysing every single round I was doing, watching YouTube videos, like screen recording everything and just proper analysing
Yeah, because
it.
people obviously just see the physique on stage. They don't see that you're flexing every muscle and you're trying to look like you're not
hard.
flexing. And that's probably why people think it's so easy. Oh, he's just standing there. He's not. He's squeezing every muscle in his body, you know, just trying to look normal, you know. So, yeah, it's I can see why people don't think it looks hard. Like, obviously, do you know Demon Dean?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I coached
yeah.
him,
I
didn't
see
I?
that.
And he
he's
was...
so funny.
What's he like?
you know, mate, he's a cracker.
I'd love to get him on.
Yeah,
so
he's loving me. He's brilliant, like, I mean. But he, so when I said to him, mate, we need a practice posing, he goes, oh, I'll just come to a show with you. I'll watch you on stage. I'll know what to do. And I said, all right. And I said, let's go through a couple of rounds upstairs. And God, within
Oh, he's sweating.
he was,
Really?
his sweat dripping off his nose. And he was like, fucking hell, man, that's mad. You know, it was hilarious. But yeah, he, to be fair then, from that point, mate, he's got, dog mentality, mate. He goes after it. Like, obviously, people see his videos online, but he lives in it. He does. And that's why he gets the results he has. I mean, he's had like 20 odd kilos since his last show, and he's lean, you know. Yeah, and that's just because he lives and breathes, mate. He gets up in the morning, he does his walk, he does his steps, he'll eat his meal, he'll train, and like if it isn't towards bodybuilding, he ain't doing it. Like, and it's as simple as that. Like if I say to him, like, yeah, mate, he just doesn't do nothing. That's because everything is focused on growing. Like he wants his best sleep he can possibly get. Like everything is just. Yeah, and that's why he's grown so much. So he's not just a loud man on the camera. He does back it up, which is, it's good to see, to be fair, you know, it is.
I bet it's rewarding for you two as coaches as well to see that.
Because
obviously you get, a 30-second video of this guy just gone bonkers on there, but he's absolutely peeled and jacked as well. At the same time, you're like, well, he's doing something right. But
definitely.
You find yourself watching those videos and just laughing as well. Like, he's got balls, isn't he, to just own it the way he is.
He's crazy, yeah, he's mad. I had to tell him off the other day when I got in the gym. She's doing a backflip in the gym and the people are deadlift. I was like, mate, I said, you can't. Oh, sorry, I didn't think. I was like, look, bro, there's a line. I said, the guy's going for a max deadlift and you're doing a backflip behind him. And he's just like, oh, I just didn't think. And I'm like, you know, we're sound like, but it's just like, oh, he's just in his own little bubble, and he's Dean's bubble, like, to me. But
you guys connect well then.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely,
Good atmosphere in the gym as well, isn't he? He's so supportive, isn't he?
Like even with like the younger kids and that coming in, like he goes over and he's, oh look, you need to do it like this, but he's not, he's sound, mate. You can talk to him like, exactly. Yeah, we've built quite a good community in the gym now. We got like a few good boys who are like bodybuilders now, because like I feel we haven't got no knobs in it. Like, I mean, they're all just like supportive and that, but it's because the way I am, you know. And I think it's just like it kind of mirrors then around into everyone, and if I don't like something I see, I'm straight up like, whoa, out. And that's the way it is. It's as simple as that.
Doesn't align with you. I think,
definitely,
like you just said, I think it trickles from the top as well. So your values, your beliefs, what you envision, it's got it pyramids down, you know. And if you're if you were a dickhead, which you're not, if you're a dickhead, then you get dickheads in.
Definitely, mate. Energy is energy, mate. You know, and it attracts.
I'm a big believer in environments.
100%.
And I wanted to ask you guys, how important is your environment in you,
massive,
where
mate.
you want to go?
And this is one of the reasons why we may actually make a move to Dubai, because, like, obviously, like, we're, like, even in the gym environment, like, this is, like, I'm just saying this now because we were speaking about it, is, like, because, like, growth is obviously, you know, with who you're surrounded by. And obviously, if I go to my gym, like, I'm the strongest in my gym, I'm the biggest in my gym, I go to Dubai, I'm a nobody, and I love it. thrive in it. I'm like,
Just wanna be better
this
all
is
the
it.
time.
Chasing
Like,
these
yeah.
guys now, yeah.
And it's like, you know, you got like Mr. Olympias walking around and the best in the world of like, you know, you're Mike Thurston standing next to you, you know, and it literally is, mate. Wherever you're at, there's massive names everywhere in the same gym. You know, and it's like, I'm not just saying that, it is every session. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and again, networking with people with similar mindsets. We haven't long come back out from it. 6 weeks we was there for, and it was just like, mate, we met so many great people. So many people like me, you would go chat, like, who want good for each other, who don't think, oh, look at that Ed in his nice car. Do you mean they think, oh my God, that's a nice car. I wonder, what's he doing then? Fair play to him. You know, it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like
it's
that
powerful.
support that brings you up. Like, we met a lot of coaches out there, and like, we went for food with a few, and they were like, oh mate, I got this great video content creator. He's in Colombia. He said if he send him, just like people
Powerful,
just giving
isn't it, man?
advice and just helping you out. Like, you don't really know these people, but it's something that I would do. It's something that I would say, but it's not. You don't really often get it.
So man, literally, you're just speaking like what I say. It's a tough place to be sometimes when you see the good in people, and I want all of us to win.
Yeah,
I want us all to
definitely,
win. We're in
100%,
different lanes, so I get jealous.
Yeah.
We can win, you can win, I can win, and that's how it should be. And I think my man Kyle Evans.
Yeah, he actually did.
Did he do some photos for you?
Yes,
Bro.
Friday, awesome. Fair play to him. Like, yeah,
That guy's amazing, right? I've
He
known
is.
him for years, played rugby with him, and he started taking photos, and I seen his wildlife photos. I was like, bro, that's unreal.
Incredible. Bro.
I said, come do some stuff with us.
I showed you the other day, didn't I? Yeah.
I said, come do some stuff with us. Next thing I said, mate, if I can help you, let me know. He came here, did a few podcasts, took some photos. I said, I'll pass you on to X, Y, and people.
Yeah.
That's what that does nothing for me to just pass someone on. And like
Exactly.
that's
Yeah,
how,
but mate, don't you feel good about passing them on?
Biggest feeling ever.
No, but it does though. You say like people say like,
it's
oh,
the most selfish thing you could do is help others. You know that? The most selfish thing I do for myself is help other people because how it makes me feel.
Yeah, it is though.
Yeah, so true.
It does make you feel good, mate. And like I have these guys who message me saying like how much they, and it's like, yeah, this is what it's all about. It's not about the money. It's about this. This is where it's at. Like, to me. And
But the money comes when you're doing something in line with who you are. When you're in an alignment with who you are, it all starts to align and fixate on where you're going. And that's why I suppose getting you two on today, I like the way you guys think from afar. I like how your business runs. I like that you're online. You're not just in person, and you appeal to everyone.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And I feel like it's not just like what you said. What was this you said about the money? It's what do you say when your mind? It's not what you make the money when you
make the money when you're doing something within a line with.
Yeah,
who
it's
you
because
are.
you're not focusing on the money. You're just focusing on doing the best you could possibly do. So that's on the side,
enjoy what
and
you
then
do.
once you're focusing on just being better, not on this, then it just comes because you're constantly progressing. Your energy is just driven into it without the money having to motivate you. You're motivated by yourself, and the progression is coming.
It's true. It's and you ever find when you're doing things you love, you don't go home going, oh my God, I'm knackered. Your cup is full.
Yeah.
Essentially, your cup is full. Now, if we had 3 or 4 people in the room now, which are zappers and whingers and negative, you feel depleted by them. You're like,
Well, the conversation will probably drop.
yeah, exactly.
I
gotta
the door
go.
would be rocking. I'd be just with Richie gone.
I love it. I love it.
But this is something else. I said, like I said, Lucy, I said, I ain't got no time for that crap anymore. Like, I mean, if it ain't for me, it ain't for me. I don't have to put a face on for people now. I'm at that point in my life where I just want good. And if I feel like someone is in a line and like they're not like my cup of tea, then it's no harm in me say, I won't be rude, I won't be but that's it. I won't be there again. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just it's the energy, and you got to feed off that. Yeah,
it's true. And I suppose, how long has Dubai been on the mind?
it's been on for about 2 years now. I think, yeah, a year. Well, we got loads of friends out there, but it's not even that, mate. It's the safety, like we got our little daughter running around in Dubai. You walk down the street, mate, it's like 4-year-olds just on their scooters, back and forth, like everywhere. And it's just like, you just think, you look and like, where's their parents? Like, but there's no parents. And you look like, just thinking, like, well, you worry, you're thinking, but then like as you stay out there for a longer period of time, you're like, your daughter's there running around, like you're all the way over there, but like it's not you being like incompetent or not looking after them, it's because it's so safe that it's just like you don't have to have eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like if you worry that if you do turn around, she's going to get picked up or something's going to happen, and even Lucy like leaving at 5 a.m. to go to a run club. if we was in central London, which is like Dubai, you know, city, I would be shitting myself. You know, I wouldn't be sleeping at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like I'd be just like
on edge.
Yeah, definitely. Like we had, we saying like there's a group of boys to us like going in the beach club. We was down on the beach in the sunbeds, like, you know, 50, 60 grand Rolexes, chuck them on a bed, go on for like 3-4 hours. Wow. The watches just sitting there. Doing
no one would,
yeah, just like mate, and there's like hundreds of people on this beach. It's not just us walking past the beds, everything. There's just like a stack of watches, couple 100,000, just there for like 3 hours. They come back and they're still there, just like, but they didn't even think anything of it. Watch back on, sit down, doing. Yeah, and also we look, that's a nice watch, like, but that's all we think. Oh, I wonder what he does, you know. But you see someone down here, think, oh, straight in the pocket and gone, like, doing. But so, yeah, so
100%. Yeah. I love it. Just here with a special shout out to our sponsor, the Black and White Pig Company. If you love top quality meat, locally sourced right here in Wales, then you need to check them out. The Black and White Pig Company is your go-to online butcher, offering a fantastic range of top quality meats delivered straight to your door. They've got everything from tender beef, top quality chicken, delicious lamb, and of course, their signature pork products, all expertly prepared and guaranteed to be fresh and full of flavour. Ordering is super easy. Just head over to blackandwhitepigcompany.co.uk, browse their selection and place your order online. They offer local delivery around Bridgend and beyond, plus free local delivery on orders over £50 and free national delivery when you spend over £89. So whether you're planning a Sunday roast, a family barbecue, or just stocking up your freezer, the Black and White Pig Company has you covered with the finest quality meat. Support local, eat well, and check them out today at blackandwhitepigcompany.co.uk. Now, let's go back to the podcast. Wait, you know, going back to the gym though, like obviously you said you started in 2013.
Yeah.
You were doing things, I reckon, before other people were doing, you know, online, growing.
I started actually online coaching in 2014.
What was who gave you that idea to do that? Because it wasn't a thing.
It wasn't. It was me and my mate, Jamie Drio. He's a big coach in Dubai now. He's like, I think he's probably as a really high level competitive coach. So we kind of started out at the same time. He's actually from Manchester, which is funny. Met him in a show. He ended up moving to Cardiff. And then we ended up going to America together. And then obviously, you know, because just again, similar mindset. He's like similar. He's like, oh, this guy's cool. I'm, you know, come down, start training and whatever. So, but my focus was obviously the gym. And with me doing the 16 hours days, and it was just impossible for me. I was burning. I was burning. I picked the gym over that, which, you know, I wish I had kept into the coaching a little bit, but obviously my energy just had to go elsewhere. So that's why I stopped. But I had some great transformation. I actually had Steve Powell on there for his first 2 shows.
Amazing.
We won some trophies with him.
He's a good guy, Steve.
Yeah, so so I had a good few clients back then. So yeah, that's when it started, and then obviously just full energy into the gym and progressing.
And it started back then when I decided I wanted to do my first prep, wasn't it? 2022.
So when did you come on? When did you come to the scene, Luce?
So we met about 7 years ago. So I started, like, me and Richie were both like in the gym. He was still doing all those long hours as well. I think you had like one or two.
I can't even remember.
You was, yeah. I
it feels normal, you know, yeah.
He only had staff working in the gym then really 5 till 9. Do you remember? So you'd be there from 6 in the morning. I don't know.
I thought 5. I was living the life then.
No, he was still waking up.
Love it.
Yeah, and then I was still in uni at the time, so I did sport and exercise science. And then when I was still doing my degree, obviously I was in the gym all the time. People asked me to PT them, so I was like, oh, I did my qualification through my first year anyways. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so I took on a few clients. Didn't charge much at all, just because I liked doing it. And then I started up the classes then in your gym then, didn't I? Yeah. Started taking that. Then it was COVID, so doing them outside. That was all like fun. We loved doing that, didn't we? And
that's when we signed in the new High Rock studio now.
And then we got the thing, and then Steve came along, didn't he? And Steve obviously
started doing the classes as well.
The classes, isn't it? He loves doing all that.
Well, Ola was born as well.
Ola was born, so obviously we needed more. You
put out the classes, we know.
Yeah, so then to be fair, I only had 2 weeks off work after giving birth, didn't I?
Fair play to you.
I still took a class the morning I went into labour.
No way.
Yeah, and training.
She was running. She was she started cycling in pregnancy, and I was like, "Oh, Luce, come on, you got your cleats on." Like it's the worst.
So where was I going with that? Yeah. So then obviously classes, PT, group PTs then, because I didn't have the time to do one-on-ones all the time, so I was doing up to 6 people. They were good, loved that. But then obviously I wanted to start competing then come January, so 6 months after giving birth, I wanted to start my own prep. And then, so I was like, oh, Rich, will you coach me for this? So we were like, yeah, okay, let's start back the coaching. So you took on a few clients at the same time, didn't you?
Yeah.
I didn't start coaching though. I was still PTing. Because I remember I still have a group client the day before, or the day we were traveling up to my first ever show. He comes down the gym 6 o'clock in the morning. Luke, what are you doing? Like with all these people like PTing. It's like, what? He's like, you're one day out from a show. You need your feet up. Go out. I was like, no.
Because usually people are dying a day out from a show. They like me. She was just like a robot. Like, do you mean?
You're built different, Luce. It sounds.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So then did my first show then. 2 weeks later, got my pro card. So in the pro qualifier show. So you do a regional, and then 2 weeks later.
So like getting
qualifier.
a pro card is huge. Like,
explain that.
So pro card, right? So you win your pro qualifiers. So you have to do a regional first, then you get invited to a pro qualifier. Then once you do a pro qualifier, you win the class. So say if she's in like class E, bikini or whatever.
Or like a height class.
Yeah, so she wins her class, and obviously like 8 classes, and then the winner of every single class then goes into an overall, and the winner gets a pro card.
Wow.
But like there's 2 bikini pros in Wales.
There's only 2?
Yeah, and I've turned them both pro.
Wow.
As a coach, like, so.
My man.
But then she was like, the funny thing is, right, obviously I've been in this game for a long, long time. I was trying to get my pro card for a long, long time, you know? And I said to her, like, she won all of her first shows. She didn't win the overall in the regional, which is usually easier than the pro qualifier. But obviously, first time on stage, you know.
I corrected my posing, things like that.
She was against people who, one was previously an IFBB pro, Liz Richardson. I've competed since 2013 again, so like, you know, been in the game a long time. She actually had a pro card taken off her in lockdown because she competed with another federation. They found out she did an online one. They were like, right, you can't, because once you're an IFBB pro, it's the elite of the elite. So it's like, why are you going to compete with these other feds when you're with the best? So if you don't like recognize us as the best, then don't.
See you later.
Yeah, basically. So that's what. So I was saying to her, right, you know, after the first time, this pro qualifier, I said, like, don't expect to win all your classes. I said it's going to be big because people come over from Germany, people come over from Poland, because it's a pro qualifier. You can come over from all over Europe or America, wherever, to compete in this regional to try and get this pro card. So I said to her, you know, don't expect big things. I said, because, you know, you just don't know who's going to show up. So she won a class, won the juniors, won beginners, won her open class, and then in the overall she won. And I was just like, oh my God, this is huge. And it was massive. And then like after everything, I walked up to her and said, you know what? I said, today, you was the fucker that turned up. I said, you was the one that turned up, because these girls have been fighting for pro cards for the last 3 years, trying to get that pro card.
Or longer.
Yeah, longer. And then people... And I mean, well, fighting for them, I mean competitive, good enough to get a pro card for the last 3 years. And then, like, obviously, no one looked at Lucy to say, because everyone knows who the top girls are in the UK. So when they go into these shows, they write, right, and there's these 3 girls that are going to be in the overall fighting for the pro card. And this is what I said to her, people just turn up and they just take you. And you're like, who the fuck is this person? But then she was that person that turned up.
Another thing which people do a lot, see, is like they search on Instagram, try and see like who's tagging the show that they're doing, and we'll look at other girls and things. One thing I've never done, my first prep, obviously I didn't put, no one knew I was competing, so I never once went on Instagram, anything, no updates, nothing. But then one thing I've never done in any of my shows really ever is compared myself to Instagram pictures or look to see, you know, the lineup and stuff. I've never sort of done that, because you can just get in your own head then, can't you? And you can never know what you look like on stage.
Yeah, you're a silhouette, like, unless you're standing next to someone who can't see it. But again, then, like, it's not in your control. Yeah. That's a negative. And I tried to say this to, like, my clients, said, like, you're comparing to someone, what is that going to do? Like, unless it just gives you motivation to be better, but half the time it doesn't. They start doubting themselves. They start feeling like all you can do is control everything that's in your control every single day. You get up on time. You do your cardio as best you can. You eat every single gram of your meals. You train as hard as possible. You get to sleep. Big emphasis on recovery, you know, and you do that day in, day out. That is in your control. Nothing else is. And if you do that every day and you do the best you can do, then be happy with it, regardless of the result. That is what, and it's you versus you. You work on you.
And it's only down to the coach then. So the pressure's not on me. The pressure's on him to carb me up right. And you know, I just do as I'm told.
And that's the best thing. It's out of your hands. You just follow. So
you don't have to think about anything.
It's that saying as well, though. You know, when you were talking about looking online and comparison is a thief of joy. So definitely, you're comparing 100%. It to someone else, and next thing you know, you question your own self. And who knows if those photos are filtered? Who knows if they tweak things and they're looking better right now than
even
they were.
Lighting, you know, it comes down to everything, you know.
Exactly. So it all adds up, and I think amazing that you can just stay in your lane, focus on what you can control. It's amazing though your partner is the the go-to guy. Yeah, so it's a
And
win-win.
then I'll just do things like analysing my posing then. So from every single show, I like analyse it. Is there any way I can make that pose look better? And that's definitely what I did.
That's
from the
what won
reach
you
out to
your
the-
pro card.
Oh,
It was
massively.
her going back and doing the posing every single day, like, you know, because, yeah, and that's the difference between coming first and third or first and sixth, you know. And I say this to clients again, the importance of posing. Like, you can have the best physique on that stage, but if you're not showcasing that physique, how are you going to win? If you can't stand there for a certain amount of time, like, and I give this example, like, I've had guys who have gone on stage, top 6 there, so 3 on one side, 3 on the other. Guy in the middle, say, is first. You know he's first. 100% he's first. They're comparing second and third. They're comparing him so long that the start one that comes first, it starts to fade, can't hold his pose, his abs start dropping off. He gets moved out to second. Wow. In the end, they're still comparing. The judges are trying to give him a chance to get back into first because they know he's the best. He starts dropping off some more. He's out to fourth. He's out to fifth. And in the end, then, because they were comparing second and third, and because that first place person couldn't hold his composure, he's sixth.
Wow.
do you know what I mean? And it happens, mate. It really does. I've seen it.
How long does a pose go for then?
So this is,
Because that could differentiate.
it
the
could
first
be
or the
three.
sixth right
It
now.
could be 3 minutes on stage.
No way.
She was in the lineup for 17 minutes before.
And this is what happened to me. So it was a pro show. It was my second pro show. So the same first year I was competing ever. It was my 4th time I ever gone on stage. So the first pro debut was in Portugal. And then this one was the One Bro Pro shows in the UK. And I wasn't really known then because I've just turned pro. So I think I was like second call out.
Yeah, you were second call out.
Call outs. They weren't really looking at me. Then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh, hang on a minute." They kept me on stage for every single call
So
out.
basically, what they do is they'll have their first call out, top 6, and then they'll call out the second call out. They'll usually keep 2 in from the first call out.
Yeah.
Take 4 away, so there's the top 4, and then replace. But I don't think he'd done it that time, did they? I think they just done one call out, sorry, of 6, and then another call out of 6. And then Lucy was on the end. She worked her way into the middle, which is like the top 2 placings. Then they took the 4 away, kept the 2 in, and brought the top other 6 girls in, and then worked her in, and she come from like obviously 12th to 4th then.
So they brought people in who were on stage or not?
So they were brought people in from the first call out then,
yeah.
because to compare with Lucy, because she was in the second call out, they kept her there, so 2 girls there, and then brought her back into the first call out.
You know, the other girls, their
Just-
posing was like fading and things like that. You can see me, I'm just holding my pose,
Just
I'm dripping
like
in
a
sweat.
rock, like, I mean, but
And then
yeah.
they
That's a
just
long
whipped me
pose.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
on
she's
stage
just
for
like,
ages
yeah,
on
Have
that.
you ever
back-
cramped? Have you ever cramped
Yeah.
on stage? Or not gone? Have you cramped in posing because you're holding a pose so
I
much?
feel like you just can't feel your back.
Yeah, I
you
just
can't
think you
feel.
go
You just
numb.
can't feel nothing. It just goes numb. Like, it's not so much a cramp, and it's just like a lot of people will, but that's because they're not hydrated. A lot of people will water manipulate, and they'll do things that maybe they shouldn't do to try and achieve a look that they can't achieve because they're not ready. Maybe, but obviously,
But we keep watering.
yeah, we keep watering, we keep everything in. Obviously, we do manipulate things a touch, but obviously, personal, individual. But yeah, it's like you just. Lose the
Adrenaline,
feeling
and you just
everywhere,
go
yeah.
through that pain. You just like holding it.
Yeah, you just like, I think my lower back and like abs and that, you just can't feel anything. It's just numb. Yeah.
Fair play to you guys. It's amazing. I just love this. I love this. I'm buzzing off just listening to you guys because I can see how passionate you are about it.
Yeah.
And when someone's dialed in like that, you can't help but feel the energy that's coming off. If audience could sit in you and listen and vibe this, you'd feel it as well. Hey everyone, it's Ollie Olds here with a quick word from our incredible sponsor, Pitch Roofer. You know, your home is your castle, and nothing protects that castle better than a solid, reliable roof. That's where Pitch Roofer comes in. They're not just building roofs, they're building trust, community, and peace of mind. Pitch Roofer has been serving our local community for years, and what really sets them apart is their commitment to giving back, from supporting local sport teams to donating to charities. They're making a real difference beyond roofing. Together, we are stronger. Now, if your roof is looking a little worse for wear, or you are thinking it might be time for a full replacement, Pitch Roofer has got you covered with top quality solutions tailored to protect your home and boost that curb appeal. Why should you choose Pitch Roofer? Let me break it down for you. Experienced professionals. These guys know this stuff with years of expertise in residential roofing. Affordable rates, competitive pricing with no hidden costs, high quality materials, durable weather resistant products that stand the test of time. Free inspections. Get the condition of your roof checked at no cost. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. They're not happy until you are. So whether it's a repair, a replacement, or you just want a peace of mind your roof is in good conditions, give Pitch Roofer a call on 01656 470016. A text message to 07540 443345 or email gerald@pitchroofer.co.uk. Pitch Roofer, building more than roofs, building a stronger community. Now, back to the show. I want to ask you some questions. Obviously, best way for fat loss, guys.
What works for you? It is.
Yeah.
Do you mean like I've tried every
Enjoying
single
it.
diet under the sun? If it's something like, you've got to find what works for yourself. When you're hungry in the morning? No, then don't eat in the morning. Do you mean you find something that fits into your routine? You find foods that you like. You find training that you like, and you be able to create a plan and accustom to yourself. And this is why the coaching is so good, because, you'll have a Q&A and they'll ask a range of questions. What foods do you like? How many times a week can you train? What's your main goal? And obviously then that's all focused. And then if it's a weekend, I can't do this, can't do that, okay, we'll change it. I mean, don't put yourself out and try and stick to a plan that you don't enjoy. We need to create long-term habits that's going to stay with you for life.
Sustainable.
I mean, I'm not going to make you eat chicken and rice every day if you don't like chicken and rice. It's not going to happen, because you need to take this away and you need to be able to instill this into your life and further educate yourself. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
And there is, mate. 100%.
I love
as long
that.
as your digestion's okay and things like that as well.
Yeah, of course.
Then you can eat
Yeah.
pretty much.
I've done carb backloading. I've done intermittent fasting. I've done keto.
really
I've done
nice
zero
meals
carb. I've
in
done
your
every
plan.
single diet under the sun. Obviously some are more beneficial for others for health, but it's again what works for you. Do you mean what ticks your boxes?
Yeah.
Do you mean
What would be, out of all of those you just said, what benefits you the most?
just a well balanced all round
are you
diet?
a morning
mate.
eater as well or not?
Yeah, mate. I'll always. Well, I like to fast in the morning because I'm more productive. I think a lot of people are like that. So only but I'm up 5 later.
Same.
So it's like one of them where if I don't eat till 9 or 10, it's normal anyway.
Yeah.
So I've got I have a little walk. I listen to a little podcast. I know you probably see my morning chat things, because I just walk and I think and I'm just loving life and and then I'll come back, do a little work block, and then around when I feel hungry about 9, 10, I'll have my first meal, and then second meal around 11, 12, train, and then I'll have my other 3 meals.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Liz?
So I'm hungry all the time. I'm the biggest foodie
mate,
ever.
she is so bad.
So I like to eat every 2.5 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I'm starving all the
So
time.
you push your
otherwise.
first meal back as
So
well?
I push my first meal back sometimes, but what I am finding, I'm trying not to push it back too much now, because I'm doing cardio again first thing morning. I am much hungrier.
I tell her she pushes her food back too much that she gets hungry, and then her meal doesn't
And then my
satiate
energy
her because she's pushed her
dips a
first meal
little.
so back.
So
back
meal
so
1
far.
is usually around 10, meal 2 12:30, and then I usually train. So then my next meal is usually then say 3:30, about 3 o'clock, and then 5, and then 7, and then I have my creamy at 8 o'clock then.
Creamy.
Yeah.
What's that?
So literally just whey protein, but obviously my ninja
Have you
creamy.
seen the ice creams,
so
the
it makes a
ninja
nice
creamies
there,
big
man?
bowl of
Yeah.
ice
Yeah.
cream
Nice.
with strawberries, and it's so much volume. It's 100 calories, obviously.
I don't like them.
I love it. It helps
Just
my
because
sweet
I'm
tooth
not
then.
a big eater.
Nah, you're not a big eater.
Well, mate, I have to eat 4,500 calories every day daily.
Daily.
Whereas
Otherwise,
I like
I'll lose
volume.
weight. If I don't, I'll drop weight.
Really? What's your walking weight then? Walking around weight?
I'm 97 kilos now.
97 kilos.
Yeah.
Good weight. Nice.
Yeah, but obviously,
Stage
stage
weight,
weight is 85.
Wow. That's
Well, that was my last stage weight. Hopefully, it's going to be more this time.
nice.
But so we'll see.
Love that. And what would your stage weight be?
My stage weight
54.
is 55. 55 was
54,
all my
yeah.
shows last year. I mean, it gets down to a little bit lower, and then with carb in it.
Yeah.
What would you walking around weight, if you don't mind me asking?
Right now, 65 kg.
Good weight.
Yeah, I want to get leaner though.
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
I hate.
It's-
Yeah.
she's so hard on herself. But I feel females are anyway, and yeah.
It's a dangerous one, I find, with females. I'm not a nutritionist, but I find that females can get so obsessive on body image, food. It becomes an obsessive.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not
the
good.
problem is with bodybuilding, mate, is building muscle. She's got to eat to build muscle. She's got to gain body fat to gain muscle. If she wants to be more productive in the next season, where she needs to add a little bit more to her glutes, a little bit more to her side delt, she's got to get out of shape and uncomfortable. And that is the bad thing about bodybuilding. When we're in 5 years, when we're both doing high rocks and we're loving life, then we won't have to worry about getting uncomfortable. We can just enjoy it and stay lean all year round. But we got to push the envelope out,
Yeah.
So I hate it. I'm feel out of shape all the time. But obviously, it's because we are pushing the food, we are trying to gain muscle, and we are in a surplus.
Before having Ollie, I would eat really healthy. Like, I like healthy meals anyways. So, but I've never really tracked anything. Just always eating good foods all the time. But I'd always done loads of sports and really, really active. I'd run, I'd go play tennis, I'd go for a swim, I'd do weight training all the time anyway. So I always looked the same and I was always happy. So this is the problem then. After giving birth, obviously I wasn't happy. I was like, right, I want to go back. So then I had abs. And then when you have abs and you do your first show and you can see how good you can look, when you then put weight on, you're like, oh, and it's just like, it's hard.
It's like one of them though, like Lucy hates it, but her mother loves it. Oh, you look so healthy again in your cheeks, you know? It's like your nan or your mother always just loves the little chubby cheeks and that. I'm not saying you got chubby cheeks.
It's like going to be a nan's house.
It's
like when you go to your nan's house, like gets the biscuit barrel, comes out, the food comes out.
Definitely,
But like, I don't know, it's easy to say, you should love yourself however you look, but the reality is, does everyone really like themselves? You're always wanting to look better, and you're always wanting to improve.
I think that's the part of human evolution, isn't it? Look at where we are as people, like how the world has evolved, because we always want better, but it's a fine line of just enjoying your life as well.
Yeah, like, so that's my focus at the moment, to be fair, is right now we tried doing we're still doing a bit of a weight loss, sort of just a little cut. Because of the health issues, my body isn't really responding as, it should or it was. So it is a struggle at the moment. So instead of really focusing on, I need to lose weight, the scales need to change, I'm really trying to focus on enjoying what I'm doing. So with the growing that I did do, the growing phase, I didn't do cardio for months. And I've always been someone who's been super fit. And now we started back cardio. I've seen, I'm a little bit unfit now. So I want to get my focus on getting my fitness back, enjoying what I'm doing. So that's why I'm doing a bit of running again now, just to get that feeling good again.
Because basically I stopped her from doing cardio.
Yeah, which I don't regret, because sometimes...
Because she needs to grow her lower, because if she's constantly pounding on the right legs, like how is she supposed to recover and get stronger from weights, We need to like pull back the fatigue from other things and try and push it into, your training. So like it's the same as like, I help a few rugby players now, and I'm like, right, so what are you doing in the week? I'm doing this, but then I'm training for this on this weekend. I'm saying, whoa, you need to slow down. What do you want to progress in? You need to focus on that. You can't be an elite swimmer, cyclist, and the best rugby player you want to be. You need to focus on one. And obviously this is where, because you can do too much. And it's the same with anything in life. What's the term? You're a master of nothing, and I can't remember what it's called.
It's like jack of all trades, master of one. What's the same? I know the one you're on about. It comes to me. Someone who's listening to this will say it out loud.
Definitely.
What's the thing with the body as well? You've got these type of body. Is it mesomorphs?
Yeah, ectomorph.
So explain that if you don't mind, Rich.
Well, to be fair, mate, like I don't look into it.
No,
I really don't, mate. Yeah.
So it's like obviously someone's body adapts quicker to a certain avenue to another. Is that?
Yeah, you can say so, mate. But like for me, like years ago when I used to look at it and like design plans around that. Like I think it was like in 2013, probably before that, because I was doing diets before that. I always used to look, but I wouldn't class myself as an online coach then. Do you mean? But now it's just basically I look at someone and think, right, this is what they need. Yeah. And it's just comes second nature now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And again, it's like, what do they enjoy? What are they currently doing? And then obviously like blood work, a lot of my clients will get blood work, and they'll tell us a lot about them. I'll tell them if they, they got issues with insulin. They got issues with, anything realistically. And that gives you like more of an overall picture of what needs to do than like a body type, should we say, Like it's more for me, there's just your frame.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like not so much like what needs to change. Like obviously some people have issues with like carbs, but then that's because they're insulin resistant. There's something you can fix then, Nice. So it's like certain things that, we can help with. Like that. So it's... Like I do, like obviously we coach so many people, and like it is different for everyone. But you
get to know each client's body as well. Like it's crazy. So you can't just like you put a plan together, but that doesn't mean that plan isn't going to change next week. It's not even just 1 week.
Like I've had clients who say they can't eat carbs, like, and they say, oh yeah, my body type is this, and I'm like, right, okay, get them on a plan. Yeah, they've had to diet on low calories, but now they're on like 3,500-4,000 calories, and they still look the same because we've built it back up. But we've done it the right way, So it's just like, again, like you find, what I find, mate, is like a lot of these people who say that, oh, I can't lose weight, or I can't do this, I can't do that, is the ones that don't do much. Like say if you say, if you see someone, right, and they're like, oh, I just can't gain weight. but they're always someone that's moving around and doing things and just jumping around. Like, it's because they're moving more, they're more active, like, do you mean? Whereas, like, where you see people that say, oh, yeah, I just can't lose weight, and you look at them and their daily routine, their habits, they just don't move, they don't do anything. Like, for me, you probably notice I'm quite an erratic person, I'm always all over the shop, like, do you mean?
It's the calendar to get you. We remember be podcasting on Thursday.
Yeah, I'd still be talking now. Still be going now. Yeah. But, yeah, it's like, I think, like, that is, like, has a massive impact on just your general movement 100%. And who you are as a person, what is your day-to-day, like, what's your sleep, like, do you like, and obviously, like, this, I'm a big believer on, like you're not going to get your BMR up if you're not doing much. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get someone's body into, like, utilizing a lot more food than what they do when they come with me, but their movement is up and they're doing a lot more, and then we kind of bridge it down and then keep the food up, and we kind of just manipulate the body. I don't know the science behind it, mate, but I know what to do. I know how to do it, like, to me.
But that comes from repetitive actions, working with people, understanding certain criteria, how that person works, how that works. And you notice pretty quickly when you jump on a call with them, they start talking, in the back of your brain, you're like, oh, I'll write that down.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, before you know, you're like, right, well, let's just try this out for the next couple of weeks and we'll pivot from there, you know.
Yeah,
but it's refreshing to really speak to you guys about what you're doing, and I like the fact that you're not just, like I said, you've learned that a gym has a ceiling, and for you to expand online is the way. And some people hate us on it, aren't they? But who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And one thing you talk about as well is, you know, you love your morning walks. I find that my mind becomes even more creative when I have solitude. So time alone, if I go for a walk, or shower thoughts. If I'm in the shower, my brain's like, I remember when I'm excited, I used to put a notepad next to my bed, and I'd have a thought while I'm in bed. I've got to write it down. Write it down and then save it in the morning, because I think it's just understanding your mind and how it works. And if you're a futuristic person, that's the way you're always thinking. How can we improve? How can we do better? And that's okay.
Definitely, yeah. Like, I have to slow, like, you always tell me, like, I got, like, ideas that come in every day. Like, I'm, like, I have to slow myself down constantly and think, right, no, you just need to stick to this and stop.
He starts a million things and doesn't finish the first one.
Yeah.
I like, man, I got a lot of love for what you're doing and yourself. I want to ask as well, you're a family, you're your parents, you're business owners. How do you schedule your own prep, other people's preps, run a gym, you know, be parents? How do you manage this?
We just do. But, like, obviously there's a fine line, like, who comes first? Ola, then my work, and then my own training, you know? But, like, obviously, like, regardless of what, there's going to be time where I have to choose between one of the three. And it's like, right, so that's number one, that's number two, that's number three. Regardless, it is what it is. If that comes before that, then I can't sit on it. I can't, you know, cry over spilt milk. It is what it is. You just get on with it.
I just find it's helping each other out, though, as well.
Yeah.
Like time management. So, for example, like, we've both been on prep before. We've both had cardio that has to be done first thing in the morning. So obviously Ola's sleeping. So we get up at 5 o'clock in the morning before she wakes up. We take her in turns.
Well, on prep, I'm up at like 3:34.
Yeah, sometimes you're up ridiculously early.
Yeah, usually.
So we're on prep.
Yeah, I feel like my mind is just like, you know, Lucy says she's more productive on prep, mate. I'm just a whole different animal. Like, I literally am. Like, I literally, like, I do a full day work before like 8, 9 o'clock. Like,
really?
Yeah, but I think, I don't know what it is, mate. I think it's my routine. So I'm in bed like early, and it could be because of the pads as well, mate. Obviously, because everything's a bit higher. Like, my recovery is so much better, so my sleep isn't. I don't need as much. Like, do you know what I mean? So I that's something I've always thought, like, because So
what pads would you be on then?
So, like, obviously just test primo, you know, and just few orals and stuff, depending on where I'm at as well in prep. Like, obviously it changes every time. Like,
what change have you noticed since taking it?
So, like, mate, I'll always take it probably for the rest of my life. Like, I mean, like a low dose TRT. But yeah, it's performance wise, recovery, everything, mate. Yeah, it's everything, mate. You know, it makes a massive difference into what you're doing. But obviously, doing things correctly is the biggest thing. You know,
it sounds like you do. You get your bloods done.
Yeah, of course.
You're doing everything correctly.
And not even that, like your ECGs and stuff like that as well. You know, so it's more than just blood work.
Nice.
And just monitoring, like, obviously durations on, exposure, you know, and obviously taking the health subs, you know, so we like 150 quid a month on health subs, like,
Wow.
regardless, you know, she got your Omega Pharma Pros to take care of your lipids, your citrus bergamot, etc. Then you got your antioxidants, you know, you got glutathione and stuff, like, so just everything reduces your oxidative stress. So like that is the biggest thing long term. But obviously, again, just not taking a piss with it, mate. It's the same. It's a drug. Do you mean you take 50 paracetamol? It's going to be the last paracetamol you ever take.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So you've got like. It's just like, and I'm not one for like promoting it massively, but it's there, mate. It's in sport. It's everywhere, mate. It is everywhere. Like, you know, like I know boys who come down the gym and they're on twice the amount of me, and they're going out every weekend. Do you know what I mean? And that is it. But it's not mate. I use it to recover more. To train harder, and it's basically so I can do more in a shorter period of time.
Love that.
Space of time, not because I'm lazy.
No.
Because
you're trying to enhance it.
Yeah, of course, because I love training. I love doing what I'm doing. I love doing, obviously, getting the look. And obviously, what I do, it does come part and parcel. But obviously, it's just doing it correctly, mate. And I've had loads of boys that come to me, mate, and they've been on it for ages. I'm like, right, and I've refused to work with them. And they're like, right, I've been using this for like 6 months. I'm like, right, I need to get your blood work done. I can't afford that. I said, mate, you can afford coaching. You can get blood. I said, if you can't afford to get your blood work done, then you can't afford to take gear. That is it, like. So and then they're like, but I said, well, I'm not going to advise if you're not going to take the right precautions. I said, you got a blindfold on, mate. You can't see what's going on, like, do you mean? So we're not in the 1990s or the 2000s anymore. You know, there's a lot more information out there. You need to be, you know, like, have you got kids? So what are you doing, mate? Do you know what I mean? It's
100%.
Like, it's,
when people abuse this thing, so it just doesn't make sense.
They abuse everything on the weekends, mate. They do it, you know, it's just general. It is the general pop, and obviously, like, it's a tough one, mate, but obviously, you know, and I think this is why a lot of my clients respect me as well, because they'll say to me, oh, can we do this? Can we get ready? And I said, yeah, we can. I said, but I'm not doing it. I said, because it's not right for you. So what do you mean? I said, well, how are you going to feel in like 6 to 8 weeks? Where's this going to be? Where's that going to be? Like, I understand that bodybuilding is a sport where you have to take risks, but there's a right time to take risks. Are you going to win the Mr. Olympia? No. So is this risk worthy? No. Do you know what I mean? Where are you going to be in 10 years when you've got 3 kids, grandkid coming along? Are you going to sit back and think, oh, shit, I wish I'd never done that back then? Yeah, you will if something happens, because it's not now it's going to happen. It's in 10 or 15, 20 years, you know, if you're not taking care of what you're doing now. So that's a massive thing, you know. I
appreciate that, man. It says a lot about your values and integrity as well, because it's one bad person like that, bad person I shouldn't say, but person like that could ruin your reputation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It takes so hard to build a great empire, but it only takes 1 or 2 bad reputations to ruin it as well. Then
100%,
you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. It's really interesting. So kind of like one thing I learned and listened to you to, though, is that you're a team. And I think, you know, you talk about environments. Well, imagine that environment all the time. And I think you better each other, you know, business, relationships, you know, lifestyle. And I think you kind of egg each other on to be better too, which is amazing. So it's really nice.
We have ups and downs, don't get us wrong, right?
Hey, everyone does.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, but it's life, innit? It's normal, you know. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, mate. That's the way it is. Like, even if I was to say things are perfect all the time, it'd be a lie. Because and if things were perfect, where's the enjoyment? Because you got to have the good to have the bad, you know. So
what's your biggest? If I ask you individually, what's been your biggest lesson?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mine is probably losing both my parents. Do you mean? Because that taught me, like, my mother, like, she obviously, you know, she kind of raised me on her own, and she passed away just before Ollie was born. So I think that was like, it was like 6, what was it?
It's like 9 days before Ollie was born.
Yeah. So it was like out of nowhere. So that was definitely a big one for me. But like, my thing is, like, I always look forward and just saying, right, what, like, if I ever struggle, I think, what's the right thing to do? What does she want me to do? How would she like me to act? What would, you know, I kind of build a role model of who she wants me to be, or who she expects. Is that she was like a barber, mate, and like, she was very selfless. She was in and out of homes as she was growing up. And this is probably where I've got a lot of things where I am, like, of like giving and caring, because like, and like, she'd have like a family come into the barbershop, and like, she'd cut their hair, and the mother would be like, oh, how much is she? Oh, don't worry. Do you mean God? Because she could see that the mother was struggling, and she would literally do it like every other week or every week for the sake, you know, just to help out and just say, you know, and she had, like, when on her funeral, she had like the street was full of people who just like, and they're always nice things to say, like, I mean, so I probably owe a lot to my mother. But yeah, I think that was one of the hardest lessons, but it's taught me so much as well, bro. It's like made me the person I am. And like I say to Lucy, I just don't regret anything in life. It is what it is. It shapes me. I always believe, I think this is something that gets me moving forward all the time. I always believe that everything happens for a reason. Yeah. I think like the reason for her was to make me a better person and to like make me a better father and like be the person, like the best person I could possibly be, because that's the way I'm looking at it, and that's the way it's getting me through, and obviously making me better, making me make the right decisions, making me go down the right path. And that is, you know, it's you can always bring a positive out of a negative, and no matter how negative it is, you've got to pull that positive out, because that's what's going to shape your life. I mean, so if you true. So it's a weird way to look at things, but it's the way my mind works, and it's the way it keeps me going, you know.
You can go one way or the other, you know, like before.
Yeah.
You finding the positive in a negative situation. I think that's an amazing thing that a lot of us do, because our mind is wired to find negatives in everything first.
Yeah, of course.
Our mind, so like that alone, man, is says a lot about you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing that also.
Yeah, no problem, mate.
Luce, what's been your biggest lesson?
I don't know.
Me.
I don't know. It's a tough question. What would you say?
Well, I can't answer your like lesson, can I just answered it.
What's been your biggest adversity?
I don't know.
Well, maybe we'll come back to
it. I think your like one of your biggest lessons is just like you won. I think with Ola, just trying to push her on in like sports and things that you didn't want to do. Like that's what I don't know. Like you regret not being, because I think Lucy believes she had like a lot of potential as a sports person when she was growing up.
Yeah, my parents were brilliant. They're still brilliant parents, but they never pushed me in one thing, because they allowed me to do whatever I wanted to do, and I loved doing everything. So that's why I played high level sports in so many different things. But obviously, to be the best that you want to be in life, you have to do that one thing. Like, I was in England every other weekend playing basketball, so then I had to sack, and then every other weekend I was in Cardiff playing matches. So I then couldn't give my full commitment to both sports, and I had to choose one. But realistically, where my talent lies isn't in team sports anyway, because of the way my mindset is.
Where you're wired.
And yeah, like no one's ever beaten me on a fitness test or anything, you know? So that's why, I don't know. Like with Ola, I want her to do what she loves doing, but then I want to just be able to not be pushy, because there's, you know, you can only push someone to a certain extent without pushing them the other way then. And I've seen it with other people as well. And then they don't want to do anything.
Yeah, I've seen that for sure.
But I do want, if she's like talented or something, I do want to see, you know, where she can go and help her to reach her full potential as well. In whatever she wants to do in life. The same with anyone really. That's why I love what I do as well as a coach. Or Yeah.
I think it's just like you feel like you had a lot more potential, and you can't. I think that's the one thing you regret is not being
100%.
Yeah.
But to be honest, though, like you got a pro card.
Yeah, I know, innit?
Like
says her, I'm sitting here without a pro card. She's dissing me now.
You're saying, you know, you could have achieved far, but hey, I think we struggle to reflect on how far we've come to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely do need to think that sometimes, but you always want more as well, don't you?
Yeah,
so you always want to keep pushing,
and that's what keeps us growing,
and keeps us growing.
But you got to enjoy the moment as well, and that's what. It's another thing that I've said recently is obviously like we're so focused in business, like don't want to miss anything with my daughter. So it's like a fine line where, like, you know, we need to see where that line is, and obviously because we're always there though. Like we take all us swimming twice a week. She's like,
we're going away with her tomorrow now for like 3 days.
Yeah, so we are like, but we because we are self-employed in the way we structure, because we're up early working, like we like kind of fixate that on being able to do things with her as well. So like that's one of my worries, being, because I'm a go-getter, is losing like the relationship, which I never will. I know I won't, but I think you always worry anyway, because it's something that means so much to you, like, I mean, that you want to always be there. You want to make sure you're supporting her through every single thing, and, you know, giving her the best and your best advice in the most time you can, like, I mean. So I think, I
think just listening though, like even the what your mum has instilled in you, you know, you're bound to instill that in your daughter.
Yeah,
Being
yeah.
selfless, caring, community.
Yeah, definitely.
If you really break it down in the gym, it's a community as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
And she is like that though, isn't she? She's like so caring, like
Oh yeah, she is.
I think of a million things. Like she comes in and she's like, she does like little things. You think, oh my god, like wow, they're blessed, like to have, because you can't really. It's hard to teach like the little things, you know. Yeah, so we definitely see that, which is great.
Love it, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I've loved this chat. I know you're well known, but how can people find you?
So Richie O'Donnell on Instagram, main Instagram handle, yeah. So and then our coaching.
And then our coaching and Fitness by Loose and IFBB Pro.
Yeah,
love it, guys.
Yeah.
Last question is, what are you grateful for?
everything.
Everything.
Yeah, literally. Yeah,
Same
literally.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love what we do, being parents, our
Yeah.
job, like being fit.
We're blessed to be in the
healthy.
situation we are. And obviously I'm a big believer and we create our own situation. And this is, again, another thing that I said to Lucy, like, obviously, if we move to Dubai, like, the last 10, 12 years, I've created something here that I get up in the morning, I walk to the gym, my routine has been drilled in for the last 10 years. But again, like, we've created that over a long time. Like, I had someone message me the other day, oh, yeah, but you got easy because of this. I'm like, mate, I've built this over time. I used to work 7 days a week, 2 days in steelworks, welding in a pipe.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was a good job. I went to college for that job as well, mind. You
It's
know,
not-
but
it's
yeah.
not, it's not something goes when you're older. What do you want to do? You don't say I want to be a welder or
Yeah,
you know
of
what I
course,
mean?
but
So-
it's like I've changed my life around to be where I am now, and everyone can do that. Like, I didn't know I'd be here now,
yeah.
but our goal, like the way, like when opportunities arise, you take them, and then that's what is what really pushes you into the direction you do. And like one opportunity may not be the one for you, but then another one will open up, and then you just keep on taking them opportunities, and then you get to where you want to be, and that's right. Yeah,
Some amazing advice. It's quite interesting though, like listening to yourself. I think you do things when your back's against the wall.
100%.
And even when I reflect on myself, starting the podcast and all coaching people and mindset coaching, this I dropped everything. I quit my job. 3 months pay I had up. I had a house that was getting rented out. I was renting something myself. I put 3 months rent down, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking figure this out.
Yeah, definitely.
But your back's against the wall.
That's it, yeah. And this is something that I've always said. Like Lucy says, you don't worry. Like she stresses about things. She lays in bed. I'm like, I just close my eyes and go to bed. I'm asleep like a button because I know I'm never going to give up. I know I'm not going to be beat. You can't beat someone who shows up every single day and gets after it. And it's simple as that. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, shit. But then that's what makes me better because that, oh, shit, makes me realize something. Oh, I could do this. Or I could, you evolve and you adapt and you change. And it's like, yeah, so I think same as you, mate. It's one of them where, you're just going to get up and get after it every day. Like you kind of, that's where you're going to grow and evolve. And, the hard times come, but then you become stronger and better to deal with them.
You've been there before, innit? So I have been here before. Let's roll our sleeves up. Let's go to work.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah.
But for me, I'm really grateful for having you two in, sharing your journey, how your mind works, how you're so driven, and it's refreshing for people to really see behind the gym, behind Richie O'Donnell, behind Lucy, is who you two guys as people and your values. So for me, thank you so much for doing that, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate
Thank
you
you.
having us, mate.
It's
It's
been
been,
great,
we've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been
Really
fun.
have, like, yeah.
definitely.
It's,
Love it.
brilliant, mate.
Thank you,
Awesome.
brother.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thanks.